Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Bubbly Suds. And for those of you that don't know, that are new here, I am Leanne and I am the owner and creator of Bubbly Suds. So today's video is about rebatching your soap. So if you've got soap that for whatever reason has not turned out. So, for example, mine. The color, nah, it totally faded. It's supposed to be pink and white and yellow. Yeah, and it totally browned. And the fragrance completely gone. So I am not throwing this out. There is nothing wrong with the soap. It has been the 6 weeks. So it's cured. Everything is done. So I'm going to rebatch it, meaning I am going to melt it back down and remold it. The only thing with doing that is it will not be able to mold like this. So it's just going to go in the mold. And it's going to be completely flat. I can't put the top on it. I can't shape it. I'm going to attempt to change the color again. Add color and more fragrance to it. But first we need to grade the cheese up. So what I have is one of these. Here, I'll show you. So I'm just going to put my soap in there. I'm going to cut it, put it in there, and then grate it. If you have one of those electric, like lettuce shredders, salad shredders, works much better, a lot faster. I have this. This is what I'm going to use. So let me get that going, and I will be right back. All right, so what you want to do first is you're going to want to calculate how much soap you're going to need to put into whichever mold that you're using. I do not have to calculate mine because I'm redoing my whole batch. Sometimes you might just have your ends or, you know, just one bar here, one bar there that you've had, and for whatever reason you haven't done anything with it. You want to try to keep colors with colors because you don't want to add the wrong colors and then you get like gray or brown, things like that. You want to keep it in mind. So let's see what happens here. Oh, it's harder than I thought using this one. It might be easier. It might just be easier for me to I don't have a big one. My big one is my good one. But as you see, and you know, it's been 6 weeks and the soap is still pretty soft. It's not completely dried out. So it's not going to be that bad. And even, yeah, there's no scent whatsoever. I thought maybe sometimes, you know, once you get into the soap, but no. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's easier just to do it without this. All right, let me get, because I got quite a bit of it. As you see, I got the whole loaf to do. Let me get through this, and I will be back, and we'll get heating it up. And we are still, oops, shredding soap. It's actually quite satisfying. Actually don't mind doing this. feels kind of cool too.
I feel?
Yeah, you can feel.
Whoa, it feels so soft.
It is soft, isn't it?
Yeah. That's cool.
I think this is like the longest part. The most time consuming of doing a rebatch. What? My grandson is here. So it's actually a perfect day to be doing this instead of actually working with lye. No, I don't have to work with lye today. It's kind of hard to keep a 2-year-old, 3-year-old out of the kitchen when you're working with lye. So I usually try not to have the little ones here for safety reasons.
Yep. And
this soap, it's already cured, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, I will be back. I am almost done. And then we will get melting. All right, so I've got all the soap grated up. Now let me show you. And that's not even all of it. But for some reason, when I did my calculations and I had made the loaf of soap, for whatever reason, and I don't know why, it's always too much soap. And I go back, I recheck, and yep. So my calculations are right, but it always makes too much. So even grating it up, because at first I was thinking maybe while it's wet, but even once it's cured for the 6 weeks, it's still more than what the mold will hold. So I have weighed it out according to what the mold will hold, which left me extra soap left over, which is fine. So now I'm going to melt this down. Now there are a few ways that you can melt this down. You could put it in a crock pot. You can put it directly on the heat as long as you are right there watching it at all times. Or you can just use the double broiler, which is what I'm going to do, and see how that goes. And if it's just not going fast enough or getting hot enough, then I will put it directly onto the burner. So I'm going to get that all ready, and I will be right back. All right, so I do have it on, and of course my pot is not big enough to hold all the soap at one time while it's melting down, so I will have to gradually add that. But here it is. And something goofy's going on with my camera. But anyways, no, I do not use my cooking pots when I work with soap. Actually, I just went and I actually picked up extra pots at a yard sale. So, also, now when you are adding the soap into your pot, you do need liquid. So, I am using water. You could use like an almond milk. I've seen where people have used yogurt. I prefer water. Now, you don't want to use too much water because the more water you use, the longer it's going to take to harden. So, I just add it slowly into the pot. I don't know if you'll be able to really see any water. No, it's too hard to see in there. But it is in there. And then I just keep mixing it. And if it seems dry, because I don't want it dry, I add more water. All right. I will be back to show you as each stage of it melting. I will be back. All right. So, if you can see, I was able to now. I have all the soap. Oh, it's too steamy. But I just wanted to show you really quick how it is melting down. And I am going to add a bit more water. right, so I've got it on low because oh, told you. You see what I mean when I said I'm having problems with the camera? Even now, everything. But I am trying to hurry up and get this done because it is getting dark and there is a severe storm coming and I don't need to lose the power and not be able to get this and have to waste it. So I am trying really hard to get this done. So here it is. Let me just do it this way. It's not going to melt down anymore, so I've got it on low, and what I'm about to do is mix it. You could use your stick blender, but it is thick and you don't want to burn out your motor, so I'm going to use a hand blender. So let me attempt to get the camera set up for you guys again. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm going to have to do it this way, and I'm just going to have to hold the camera because the tripod is just spitting it out. So let's attempt it like this. Put it on low. I'm just trying to get out any extra lumps. Okay, it's a little dry. I'm going to add more water. Okay, I've added a bit of water. No, I got to mix it. Everything is going wrong because I'm trying to rush. Oh my goodness, I can hear it thundering out there. All right, I will be right back. All right, so it's mixed. Let's do this. I just want to get these lumps out. So you see how thick it is. You do not want to use your stick blender. And again, this mixer was bought strictly for soap making. My pot is moving all over because I'm trying to do this with one hand. Alright, I've got most of the lumps out. I am going to try to add some color to it because as you can see it browned. So I'm going to attempt to use this here. It's fuchsia. It's hard to see. And this one is the mica from Windy Point. And I'm going to add my fragrance oil into here mixed with a little bit more water, and then we're going to mix it up. So I will be right back. Alright, I've got my fragrance oil in there, which really helped smooth it out. And I added some of the mica in there, and it is looking pretty good. And then make sure that you are scraping the bottom with a nice stir and scrape the sides because you see how the mixer has missed some. So let's get mixing some more. Okay, so since I have to do this with one hand trying to film, I'm not really going to be able to film it, but I will show you really quick what I am doing. Now, as you see, I am wearing gloves because this is hot. So and you got to work fast because it will cool fast. So I'm just going to put it in there, fill it some. I'm going to tap the mold on the floor to flatten it down. And then I will be right back and show you how I have to flatten it with my hands. And then I've got some flower petals that I'm going to try to put on top. Alright, so guys, I didn't think I'd actually be able to mold the soap at all, but it actually worked out really well. So I didn't just have to flatten it. And then, as it's still drying, I can still put a bit of design in it. I think it turned out. We'll have to wait and see what it looks like when we cut it. But the way I look at it is this. Can't look any worse than what it did before we started. And it does have the pink tint to it, so it should stay because it's already gone through the saponification. So let's just wait and see and hope for the best. So I'm going to leave this for 1 to 3 days. Just depends on how long it takes to harden since we added the water. But as soon as I can get it out of this mold and cut it, I will be back to show you. All right, so my soap is now ready to cut. It took like 3 days before I was able to actually get it out of the mold because it was still really sticky. So, I mean, it really depends on how much water you add, how wet you want it to get back into the mold. So, it took 3 days to get out of the mold, and it's been, I'm trying to think, I've been so busy. 1, maybe 2 days since I've taken it out of the mold, so I'm going to attempt to cut it. So we will see what's going on, okay? Let me just angle use. All right, so I have marked, I don't know if you can really see it, but I did mark on my napkin. Let's see if you can see in the pencil the little marks. I marked on there because I'm not using the wire cutter because it is now a more rustic looking soap. I am going to use the crinkle cutter. So let's see. I don't know. I just want to take this end off. Pretty smooth. Let's sit this here. So it's going to be about here. It's still pretty damp. So it is cutting, but I'm wondering if we're careful enough. But here's more of the inside that's still a bit wet. So let's see. What? All right. So I did cut another one. But I'm just debating on whether I want to wait because the very middle is still quite damp. It really is hard to cut it without having. So let's see. Sit that right there, and let's see. But it's even then, it still wants to slide. I mean, they don't have to be perfect. I just. And remember, you don't want to pull it back up because then it kind of smudges it. You just peel it off. So, I mean, I can cut them now. It's not too bad. So, I like the crinkle cut is nice. But with this, it does cut it kind of crooked. Let's try this again. Try to keep it straight. Now I'm going to have to fix this one because it's got a fat bottom. But with rebatching it, the smell is amazing and it has not faded whatsoever since I've done it. And the color. So, and like I said, it had already gone through full saponification. So you didn't have to worry about the colors and stuff fading. So it does look nice. So that's not bad at all. Not bad.